Hi, I'm Allison.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about?
Okay, let's start with the water bottle, because it's today day 2, right?
So.
Uh-oh, day 1.
Yes and no. So, we are going to Virginia for the weekend to see David's daughter, and we like to go to a couple places while we're there. So we were like, we're going to mostly do it this week, but actually start the following week, because you can't sit on the water and not have like a beer. You just can't. And so we're I got up this morning and worked out, and I plan on doing my outdoor workout this afternoon. Since the SC call was canceled, I will be doing my outdoor workout at that time. But I've already almost...
Oh my God.
I had 24 ounces of water with my workout this morning, so I actually almost probably done.
If I drank that much water, I would just be like, give me a catheter. Like, so I could pee whenever I had to go pee.
I drink a lot of water anyway. It's just this was going to be easier for me to track instead of being like, how many tumblers of water did I have?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, cool. Well, happy Monday. We just recorded on Friday.
I know.
Because we had a crazy week last week, and now we're recording on Monday, just to keep our rhythm. I think...
Exactly.
How do you feel about the rhythm so far? Now that we're episode 10, so how was your thoughts about doing this every week? Is it as bad as you thought it'd be, or better?
I've never thought it was going to be bad, because you and I talk all the time anyway. So, and I like talking to you. So.
Well, thank you. I like talking to you too, and that's not just because you said that. Your connection's better today.
Well, I don't have a whole house full of people. I only have one person left. So.
No streamers.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is that your Skype sound?
That was my email.
Email? Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Your desktop audio comes through. Are you on your MacBook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go into my focus mode, and then it won't pay now.
No, I wasn't complaining. Alerts are fine.
No, I try to do that when I go into meetings, and I just forget.
I use Outlook via the web browser.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use the client. I did that. I just changed like probably 10 years ago now. The web client got good enough. I didn't need the big honking application. So on the tab, I have 2 tabs open, my mail and my calendar. So I can just quickly move back and forth. And I mute the tab in Chrome so that those, because I hate notifications. Not your notifications aren't bothering me, just to be clear. I just hate notifications on my stuff.
I send you the secret codes. It's fine.
Yeah, the question mark. I have a new one now. Here, I'll send it to you. This is what I do with my team now. I don't know why I don't do it with you. I think I have done it with you, but I'll send it to you. See it. That's what I always send now.
Let me look.
It's Justin saying hi. For everybody listening, it's me waving, basically.
I still like that.
Woo cheese.
Woo cheese.
I haven't had woo cheese in a little bit. I tried over the weekend. Oh God, I'm going to reveal a lot here. We went to the dollar store because they had this mat that the dog loves.
Right.
I think it's a bathroom mat, but it's got this like really thick. She just loves sitting on it. We're like, we should get another one before they run out of them. So we go to the dollar store. They didn't have them, but they had Dorito cheese. It was a little cup of nacho cheese, but with spicy Doritos flavor.
Is it the dip?
Yes.
My mom's here, and she got the Cool Ranch.
I was impressed. I was actually impressed. It took forever to heat up properly because it kept like overheating and then stirred overheat. Yeah, but
yeah. David's making pulled pork tonight. I'm very excited.
I just ate, and that makes me hungry.
Well, his recipe is actually pretty clean. I mean, it's like pork loin, chicken broth, seasoning, and an onion. I mean,
you don't need much. Pork is good by itself.
Oh, it's so good. And then it makes so much. You get like the whole week of pulled pork.
Yep. That's just good Southern cooking.
And it's in a crock pot, so I get to smell it like all day.
I'm just getting hungry thinking about it.
I know. I'm sorry.
So you were family free this weekend? mostly?
My mom leaves this Friday. So.
Oh, mom's still there.
But yes, my brother left Friday, and they drove back 14 hours.
Ooh, they drove. Wow.
Yeah, with a 5-year-old.
Probably. Okay, see, that's that age where, like, getting them on a plane might be, like, risky. Like,
No, like,
Dave, no, is he good? Is he a good kid?
Yeah,
Okay.
like Dexter loves to fly. And I don't know how many pairs of wings he has by now. Every time he goes to flight, he gets little wings.
I bet they still did that.
Yeah. For kids, I mean, they're not going to give you some wings. But
I remember getting them when I was, like, you're going to think I'm crazy that I actually remember this, but when my mom was pregnant with my brother, I was between 1 and 2 years old, I guess, however the math works out.
Yeah.
And I actually remember my mom, the flight attendant, they call them now. They called them stewardesses back then.
Yeah.
She came and sat with me because something happened with my mom and she had to go to the bathroom. And I remember the stewardess sitting with me and then bringing me a pair of wings.
That's interesting.
You know how like when you're that small, you just remember little things.
Yeah. I don't think I remember anything from when I was that small. I barely remember yesterday.
That's because of the cardboard O. That's not.
Yeah, that was Saturday.
I finally finished mine.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was good. I made a mistake though. I actually had a little bit of a hangover when I finished it because I was using a red Solo cup to just sip on it because I was just trying to go with the atmosphere of cardboard dough. And I thought, why not a Solo cup? Right. So it felt like it was towards the end of the bag. So I'm like, well, let me just finish it off. So I ripped the bag out of the box and everything, and I go to it fills the entire Solo cup up, and I thought it was empty.
You think it's empty? There's still like half a bottle in there.
So I'm watching TV. It was like a Wednesday night, maybe a Tuesday night. I can't remember. And I'm just watching TV, and I go to grab the Solo cup, and I'm like, "Where did all the wine go?" And I was like, "Did I just drink a whole Solo cup of red wine?" And then the next morning, I was like, "Yes, I drank a whole Solo cup of red wine." I didn't feel drunk, but I guess with red wine, when you overdo it, you just can feel it the next day.
Yeah.
So maybe not a box is a good thing for me. I don't even know if I should be talking about this publicly.
It's fine. No, Saturday, it was so nice here. Like, it was 80s, I guess. And so our back patio is like our oasis. Like, we have a little, what are they called?
Tent or a umbrella?
Like a gazebo.
Okay. We
have like a metal gazebo, and like there's a TV mounted in it, and we have one of the fans that hangs from the top. So I mean, we spent like 4 or 5 hours on the back patio, and my son got I think I told you, a vegetable garden for Easter.
Yes, yeah. How'd that go? Or how's it going?
Water it constantly,
and
so I have to be like, we can't, or you will drown them. And he's like, no, they're fine. So then he was upset he didn't get a tomato plant. So we went to Target and got a tomato.
Target has plants?
They have seeds.
Okay.
So we got little tomato seeds. And so then yesterday he was like, well, they haven't grown yet. I'm like, it's been a week. Yeah. Like, it hadn't even been a week.
The hard part for kids and gardening is you gotta be patient.
Yeah. So he wants to water it just like constantly. And he'll water it and he'll be like, I think it needs a little more. I'm like, it's dripping. Like, it doesn't. We're good.
Here's a cool thing you can do. I remember my dad doing this. My dad's a plant guy. He's a plant doctor.
Yeah.
It was a science experiment, I think, through school or whatever, but he helped us with it. But basically, you take a glass jar and you roll up a wet napkin and put it so that it's facing on the outside of the jar. And then you put the seed in between the glass and the paper. And as a kid, you can watch it as it grows its roots and then grows its stem and its leaves.
We did that in elementary school.
Yeah. I don't know if that's too much for him.
We did it with a Ziploc baggie, though.
A Ziploc baggie? Okay.
I
might be misremembering the details, but...
No, we did it in like several different years in elementary. And we put them up on the window. And
it's really educational because it's like you start with this little thing, and
it's so we did it with a paper towel that we got wet, and we put it in the Ziploc that we stapled shut and tape them on the window. So.
Yeah. I planted tomatoes and peppers last week, so I should be in line with Dexter's. Wait, does he have his own watering can?
Yes.
Like a 5-year-old watering can?
He has so I love the dollar spot at Target. And they had it's a kid's watering can, but it'll water the whole thing.
Kid's garden. So
it's big enough, so it's not just a little one, but it's got a ladybug on it.
I'm picturing a Monopoly piece,
It's decent size. I mean, it waters the whole. I was impressed with it. I was like, way to go, Target. So
that's fun. My other gardening, I actually wrote this down as my other gardening story was I planted bulbs for lily tree mixes. I think I talked about this in the past. And they started to come up, they started to sprout, and I was watching them monitor. I'm not, out there, probably worse than Dexter, where's the next one? Where's the next one? Because I don't remember where I planted them. And I go out there one day, and one's gone. And there's just a hole in the ground. A perfect little hole of where the sprout was coming up out of the ground. And it was the most mature. It started to kind of come out. And I'm like, WTF? What? I've been loving you, and I've been watching you, and you just disappear on me. And another one was gone, had just come out of the ground, and I believe I couldn't find it on video because my garden is monitored with video. Yes. I believe it was a rabbit.
That would make sense.
So I made some adjustments to the garden area to keep the rabbits out, and so far they haven't eaten any more. Nice. But I was surprised at how sad I was, Allison. So I discovered it in the evening after dinner, and I went and sat down and was just like, damn it.
That was my most mature one.
It was the one that was growing so well, and he's just gone. It was it was a real loss. And I'm like, why is this bothering me so much? But yeah, be prepared. You might have to talk about loss.
Well, he planted, it was cucumbers, peppers, regular onions, and then green onions. And then we went and had to buy a tomato. So.
Are you documenting it? Are you taking pictures?
No.
I
mean, right now it's just dirt. So if you would like a picture of the dirt, I'll take one for you.
I literally make videos of me tilling the dirt and putting the seeds in.
I know. I think you sent me the link to it, but no, I mean, it's a big raised bed. Not big. It was only $50 at Walmart.
So it's big enough he doesn't have to bend over in the garden. And
and I don't have to, because we all know I'm going to end up having to take care of them. So.
Because David said no, right?
He said if they end up not getting taken care of, we're throwing it away. And his mom was like, I will bring it to my house and I will use it.
Is she a gardener?
I think she would like to be one.
Okay.
I think if she had one of these at her house, she would grow things on her patio.
Cool. Well, I'm just happy to talk about gardening at any time.
I don't know that I have a brown thumb, but every time I get something, I think I told you I bought a hanging plant and a bird made a nest in it.
Yes. Yeah, you did tell me that.
So then I couldn't water it and it died.
Maybe it was just such a good job that the bird was like...
Well, it was day 2. I hung it up and the next day there was a nest.
Okay.
Last summer we have, like I said, the little gazebo, and they make fans that you can clip in the top. Have you seen those?
I know what you're talking about, yes.
Oh, so last year a bird made a nest on top of the fan. And you know how hot it gets here in the summer. And so finally David was like, I'm just moving the nest. It's too hot. I'm like, we can't move the nest. There's eggs in it. There were eggs in the nest, several. And finally he was like, we're moving the nest. I was like, not until the eggs hatch.
Oh my gosh.
So this year anytime we start to see any makings of a nest, we just knock it down.
We had a similar thing. It wasn't a nest, but it was this bird that on the front porch we used that that spray-on foam to kind of seal the gaps, the gap fill or whatever. Well, the birds figured out that it was, I guess, it kept them warm in the wintertime. So this one started pecking at it and chewed him out a little hole, and then he'd go like face into the hole and like puff his feathers out and stay there overnight. It was like, it wasn't a nest, but it was like, it was a nest. It was really weird. I took a picture of it. It's on Instagram somewhere. So eventually we ended up putting we started with like toothpicks. We'll put toothpicks around this. It'll be sharp or whatever. Well, he's just like, screw the toothpicks and just like went around it. So if you look at our porch now, there's like nails spiked out like to prevent it from coming up there.
Yeah,
They're pretty resourceful.
Yeah, we have an outdoor TV too that we have a cover for. And one of the days when it was raining, I didn't apparently Velcro it all the way. And so when the rain stopped and I went to undo it, there was the makings of a nest like down in the bottom of it. And I was like, again. So I'm sure I upset some bird.
Well, the birds seem to like you. Maybe you need
It's like Cinderella.
Pet owl.
We have armadillos.
Yes. Actually, we got a notice here about the armadillos. They said if we see them now in North Carolina, we're supposed to take pictures and document it and either upload them to an app, because apparently they're migrating up here.
Oh.
Not in the mountains yet, but the other parts of North Carolina where it doesn't freeze as much.
Right.
Apparently they don't tolerate freezes very well.
Did you know they can carry leprosy?
No.
That is my fun armadillo fact.
No, I didn't know.
Or it's like a disease that's like leprosy. It may not be exactly leprosy, but it's like the exact same like symptoms.
Isn't that the disease from the Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So you don't want to get too close when you're documenting them, because if they bite you, you can get leprosy.
Yeah. You saw how close I got to the deer over the weekend.
I know. So when you get near those armadillos.
I just want to like tap on it, you know?
Well, like when it jumps on the ball, like the little video I sent.
Yes. I like that video. I think we included that on the video version of our podcast. Yeah.
No, we have 2 that come around quite a bit. But
what do they eat?
Huh?
What do they eat? Like grubs and stuff?
I don't know. I assume they're herbivores. I don't know.
Okay. You don't observe them?
No.
You make notes in a notebook?
I've just seen them like waddling around, and then like Riley will see them and run off. But they tore down the lot next door, so I was worried I wasn't going to see them again. But we saw them like 2 weeks ago.
There was another bear on TikTok in Asheville. Did you see it?
I didn't.
So this one made CNN News. It was on the front page of the website. Sorry.
Yeah.
They don't have a paper. And it's really funny, like, to just watch. There's this guy sitting in a what is that thing that you tie on both ends?
A hammock.
What is that called? A hammock. Yeah, he's sitting in a hammock, and the bear walks up. It's all on camera. The bear walks up, and he's nosing around or whatever. The guy's sitting there reading his book, and then he looks over, and they both see each other at the same time. They're like, whoa! And the guy like takes his pillow and like starts bringing it up towards him, and then eventually the bear runs off. But
yeah, I don't know what I would do if I saw a bear.
You'd probably freeze, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do something too sudden and scary. I think they said it was not a cub, but like not fully grown.
Was it up there, or where was it?
Yeah, it was here in Asheville. It was North Asheville, I think. That's why I see them all the time. What happens is like there's mountains, and so the very tops are usually undeveloped, and so there's plenty of places for them to live and come down. Same with the deer. There's still plenty of undeveloped land. I don't know, like there's people that live right next to the park, which is preserved.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they deal with stuff like that all the time, but we haven't seen our first bear yet this season, so I'll be sure to capture it on video though.
Let's say when it's already April.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen, but there other people are seeing them, but we haven't seen one yet. Trying to think. Nope. I haven't seen one. If we saw the bear, if we saw the deer, turkeys. Saw the turkeys again today. Turkeys are funny.
Yes, they are.
They're not as big and meaty as the ones in the grocery store, though.
Well, they're the wild
Kind of scrawny,
ones, aren't
yeah.
they?
They're wild and they just eat bugs. Yeah. Do you have any ServiceNow stuff that happened over the weekend, or?
Not over the weekend. I'm going to be a CTA reviewer in a couple weeks.
What's CTA?
The Certified Technical Architect program. So the CMAs get to do essentially we review the CTA's final
Presentation or something?
Presentation.
Okay. So you're like the person that was nice to you when you were in the CMA.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, except so the CTA program, it's like half the amount of time as a CMA program, and they focus more on like the levels of governance and like technical design and all of that. Mm-hmm. And so they have to. It's really funny because I've had some of like really impressive presentations, and then last year, like I hate to talk bad about anybody, but like one guy, I don't know why. I know, I was kind of like, were you in the course? Like, you know, and I tried to be really nice, and like he ran out of time, and I actually gave him extra time because I'm just nice. And like when I had to end it, he's like, I only have a few more slides. I was like, I'm 5 minutes late to my next meeting because you're supposed to be like in character. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I have another meeting. I'm 5 minutes late too. And I was like, yeah, like, and I felt bad. And you have to fill out this rubric afterwards for them. And like, I especially try and give good feedback if it was a situation like that, because like if they passed, you know, not that they shouldn't still get feedback.
Right.
But if the score was pretty low, I try and give more feedback. So
that's very teacherly of you.
Well, you know, but no, it's really interesting when you're like sitting there because you get the case study like they do, and then you have the rubric that you're grading them on, and then they give you some sample questions you can ask, but of course you can ask whatever you want, but they give you like, here's some questions we want you to ask, here are some optional questions. So kind of interesting.
You hear that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, is that? It's my so good segue. I hooked up external hard drive over the weekend and got a bunch of like backed up video recordings uploaded to the cloud, and then I formatted it to work with my Mac. So Time Machine now is like backing up everything to the external hard drive. Yeah, so I think it just started a backup or something. It was like
you did way more technical things than I did over the weekend.
Yeah, well, I was trying to see if you did anything technical. Yeah,
no,
that was fun.
I think I logged into something on my Fire Stick for my mom because she couldn't figure it out.
How many terminal windows did you open over the weekend?
None.
No terminal windows? Oh gosh. Did you go into developer mode on the Fire Stick?
No, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
She couldn't log into her Paramount Plus, so I logged her in.
Oh, wait, was it Paramount Plus? No, it was Netflix. We discovered a new show and like binged it yesterday.
Ooh, what is it?
Got 2 episodes left. The Watcher.
Oh, we've already watched it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was like, that's the first episode. Is like, okay, we got to keep watching this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we watched it, and then I was scrolling on TikTok the other day, and there was like a movie clip for a movie I'd never even heard of called The Belko Experiment. Oh, anyway, yeah. We're going to watch it because it looks really interesting.
Is The Watcher satisfying at the end?
Yeah, I mean, they do a good job like kind of closing it up, so. Okay. I was trying to think if I gave you a list of things to watch.
And that wasn't it, because I went and looked at it, like, did someone recommend this? Because surely I've heard of this, and it wasn't on my list.
I gave you a bunch of, like, cult movies.
They're on the list. I'm at the top of the list still, and it's a really long, it's a spreadsheet.
Well, like I said, Midsommar was very good. And was it The Invitation? Not the new one with the vampires. We watched that. It was not very good. The Invitation, that's like an older movie.
Yes. I have them all documented. Because I had to go.
Did I tell you No End House? Because that one is still, we watch it like every year. I'm like, let's watch No End House. Like, it's the same thing, but I just really like it.
Let's make sure, especially if you're rewatching it, there it goes again.
Yeah, there was, I can't remember the channel it comes on, but it's some like mini series called on Channel Zero, which is No End House.
Like the N-O?
N-O space E-N-D space.
It's not on my list. Yep. All right, it's about to be.
You need to put that one on there. It's Channel Zero No End House, but it's really good.
Oh, there it is. I put a dash in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In detailed comments. Okay, this is funny. This is what I got from Allison Shirey.
Oh, no.
Vivarium, Coherence, The Invitation, Midsommar, and No End House, all in a row, back on January 25th of 2023.
Yeah.
And that's lines number, just for some context, 204 through 208.
So you're not getting to those for a while.
I just finished Ghost in the Shell on Netflix, which was awesome, by the way. Especially if you like violence and.
I can't stand what's her face that's in that.
It's a series, not the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's animated. It's a Japanese animation movie.
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
That I watch in English. I know everybody's gonna like comment and tell me I'm horrible, but it was good. I enjoyed it. That is line number. Man, I can't even find that.
See, we're not even gonna be close. You're like in 3 years, be like, I found
170. So you're only 30-ish away from what I saw.
30-ish. Now, do you watch Ted Lasso? I can't remember.
No. Your David has said it's funny.
It is so good.
It's soccer, right? Or football.
It is, but like soccer's not really like. I mean, soccer's a part of it, but it's more than that. It's really good.
No, I haven't seen that. It's on the list too because David recommended it.
I'm sure you. Do you watch musicals?
Yes.
So did you watch Schmigadoon on Apple TV?
No.
So it's got Keegan-Michael Key in it. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I know.
Okay, so it's him, and then I can't think of the girl's name that was from Saturday Night Live. But it's really funny, and the new season just came out, and I have it on my list to watch. But David won't watch musicals, really. So I watched it like 2 Christmases ago while I was wrapping presents.
Schmigadoon?
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to spell it how it sounds, and we'll figure it out.
It's SCHMI Gadoon.
Oh my god, that's exactly how I spelled it.
Yeah.
As long as Dune is not D-U-N-E, I did D-O-O-N.
No, it's D-O-O-N.
Yep. Wow. That's a series?
Yeah. It's like the first season's like maybe 10 episodes, maybe 8, but it's on Apple TV.
Apple TV, okay.
And we started another one on Apple TV. What was it called?
Oh, I'm filtering. That's why I can't find anything.
Yeah, no, there was another one on Apple TV that came out recently where there's like a baby doll that this lady's son, like infant, died. And to help her get through it, they give you like this realistic doll. It's kind of weird. Like we're halfway through it. We haven't finished it, but
I think I recommended one to you, this similar concept, and you were like, I'm not watching that.
Well, if it's demonic, I don't do that.
Yeah, it wasn't demonic, but it was like, it was a kid and his dead brother, and yeah, it was good.
I don't think we watched that one.
I think it was something
Depending
like...
on what it is, I won't.
Good Night Mommy or something like that.
I plan on just not sleeping. I like thriller and I like suspense and I don't mind like ghosts, but...
Do you watch musicals that aren't in English?
That aren't?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have.
So I just finished one, I think last week. It was really good. It's on Netflix. I think it's Netflix, and it's called The Sound of Magic. And it's Korean. It's a Korean musical. And the music is not as like much prevalent as some musicals. Okay. It's probably one song per episode. And they're about an hour and something long each. But the reason I liked it because it was a good story, but the artistry of it. So like there's obviously there's a romance, and like they move from the characters singing to each other to like their silhouettes on a building, and then they start to do all this magical stuff, like they're flying around, and I was just like, wow, it was like really, really cool how they made this transition from live musical to like this animated, not animated, but
yeah,
it was a really good series.
You will enjoy Schmigadoon because it's hilarious. Like they go into this world where people just like bust out into song, and Keegan-Michael Key and the lady are just like, are they singing right now?
What was the one with the Christmas one that I loved with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell?
I didn't like that one.
Oh, I thought that was awesome.
No.
It should have gotten awards. I loved it that much.
We are watching Welcome to Wrexham on Hulu with Ryan Reynolds. Him and Rob McElhaney bought the Wrexham Football Club in the UK.
Yes, they made a show out of that?
Yeah, and it's actually pretty interesting. And I mean, Wrexham now has tons of funds to do what they need to hire the right players.
It's kind of like what I've been doing since I started messing around with video. Is like if I do anything new now, I'm like documenting it on video somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So I guess Ryan Reynolds is just the billionaire.
A step ahead of you.
Yeah. Just,
It's one step ahead.
He's got a TV crew and people who do his editing and all that.
I would totally go watch Wrexham play though. But I like soccer. I grew up playing soccer, so.
I played a little bit of soccer. But I can watch it. I just wish it was more. It takes a long while to get to score a goal, and I think that's his Achilles heel. Is like as far as a spectator sport. But then like they zoom out and show the stadium, and the place is packed with tens of thousands of people. So it's obviously people enjoy it. So.
Yeah. I know David and his friends do they pick a Premier League team and they watch it. And so I was trying to explain offsides, and I was like moving stuff in our living room to be like, here's the person and here's the ball.
Yeah, I don't know it well enough to that degree, but I like, this will show you how much of a soccer fan I am, because I always watch the beginning. I like how the players always come out with the kids. And so the kids get that experience of walking on a field and being with an athletic star or something.
The Women's World Cup is this summer.
The what? Women's World Cup?
Women's World Cup. And hopefully the U.S. women's team doesn't screw it up like they did last time. Get knocked out early.
Yes, go USA soccer. Women's soccer. It's just soccer.
The men's team, God love them. They just...
I don't follow either. I feel like I should know something. The Boston Marathon is today.
Oh, yeah.
I know that.
It's true. No,
we ran over. We're 3 minutes over. Do you have to? Are you late to something?
No.
Okay. I didn't want to keep you. I want to see, did I have any questions for you from my work over the weekend? Oh, are you going to Knowledge?
Maybe.
Did we talk about this last Friday? I think we did.
I don't know if we did, but I might be going.
So you might be going because a client lead might not be able to go or something like that.
Yeah, and I'm the executive sponsor for one of our more strategic clients, and then I'm working on a roadmap for another. And so they would like me to go, so we'll see. I might be going.
For schmoozing or for actual work?
I mean, it's for relationship building.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing. So you're not going?
I don't think so. I think the sales team might. But
they're all going. I have to go to a meeting tomorrow to talk about the plans for Knowledge in case I end up going. So.
Yeah, I don't mind, and it's a whole last week in travel and that kind of time going on, so it's okay. I
have nothing going on at all.
I didn't mean to imply you had nothing.
I was kidding.
Yeah. I had one other thing that I was going to share with you, but I don't think I'm ready yet. It has to do with UI Builder.
Oh.
You're not as familiar with UI Builder, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Me and UI
Not
Builder
yet.
just we haven't gone on a good date yet. You know, like whenever UI Builder and I go out on a date, like something always goes wrong, or we're at the wrong restaurant, or we're
You're
speaking
like that
different
couple
languages.
people are making up the story about.
Yes. Well, I think we'll get along eventually, but oh man,
One day.
one day. Well, it's like, oh, I know what I did do. Remember Friday I told you I was working on a proof of concept?
Mm-hmm.
I built the whole thing using App Engine Studio, which was quite a different experience than it used to be.
Yeah.
I was impressed. There were some little nuances that were frustrating. Like I would just be like, forget this. I'm just going to go with the Flow Designer and do this. But overall, I'm done with it. It's so it's ready for the customer to see. But it was a good experience.
Aren't you and Jim and David doing like a side project?
Yes. Yeah, we met last Thursday for the first time. Yes. It'll be interesting to see how that evolves, because it's what shall I say about that? It is a significant undertaking that could result in significant efficiencies, but my concern, and I'm trying not to say what we're doing.
Yeah.
My concern with something of that magnitude is the maintenance of said application. So, and for those who aren't picking up on the subtext, how much can I say? The ServiceNow ecosystem is lots of things change all the time. So you've got twice yearly releases, family releases as they call them, named after cities. But then in between times, you have patches, you have store applications that are being updated and patched. New features are rolled out quarterly now for a lot of those store applications. And as a partner, oh man, I'm already saying too much. Doing anything that's focused on how those are configured is subject to constant maintenance. And so that's where I stand right now. It's a problem, I think, for any partner to keep up with what's going on and what level of effort it takes to complete the things on a roadmap that Allison shows. Yeah.
It'll be good if y'all get it built.
There's a roadmap UI component in UI Builder?
I did, actually.
Have you messed with it?
I haven't messed with it yet, because I read about it in one of the release notes, I think.
Yeah. There's all kinds of cool components. I want to play with all of them, but if I could just figure out how to do one on my own, like to configure one without help. And so you have some awesome team members.
Yes.
And one of them has been just very gracious and said, hey, call me after hours, during hours, I'll help. And I haven't taken them up on it. I haven't taken them up on it yet. And because I feel like it's just, when I learn something, I've got to really beat my head against the wall before I learn it. So
me too. Which is good and bad in what we do.
Yeah, so sometimes it could take me a really long time to make that first step. I'm going through it now with RPA, which I did have on my list of topics to talk to you about. RPA is one of those things that ServiceNow shows a lot, talks about a lot, and I'll ask you before I say, Allison, have you implemented RPA for any customers or your team? Mm-mm. Yeah. See? Nope. That's my dilemma is I understand it and I want to pursue it, but I don't have a use case because none of our customers have wanted it yet.
I know. Well, there's lots of cool stuff that we haven't gotten to do just because we haven't had the use case for it. I mean, like the CSM verticals, we have to have a customer that needs it or will pay the extra for their specific vertical.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. There's more than a dozen verticals now.
Yeah. And PSDS is being pushed a lot right now. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's just money on the table. I mean, if you think about every town, every city has public services.
That's all I've been pulled into recently is are they buying PSDS? I'm like, were they pitched it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That one where you met with the CEO or CIO, I considered pitching it, but she said that they had other products that did that, so we didn't go down that route.
Yeah, I have to wrap their stuff up this week, hopefully.
Yes, I remember that update from last week. Interesting update.
Yeah. It's fine.
I guess we're 10 minutes over now. Closing topics, thoughts, questions for me.
I'm going to go get in my 45-minute outside workout since SC call was canceled.
So that's what I'm keeping you from? Being hot and sweaty and exerting yourself?
I know.
Are there any exercises you care to share? Not not perform them, but unless you want to.
Well, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I like to do bar workout. So I use the Peloton app, which I love. I don't have a Peloton bike because the bike I have is fine and I can get to all the workouts just fine. And there's this one girl that does their bar classes who especially the lower body ones, everything's just on fire after.
I was gonna say that's a good butt workout, right?
Yes, my
gluteus maximus
was on fire this morning, and then I just walked on the treadmill this morning because I was half asleep. So outside, I'm just gonna go walk, but our garage is like a full gym, and David was like, "I'll just pull the rower out in the driveway." I was like, if you can row for 45 minutes, more power to you. That's a lot. When I used to do CrossFit, they would have a benchmark ever so often where you had to row 2,000 meters, or I think that's what it was. And it would take a fit person at least, it took me 8 minutes to do. I want to say it was 2,000 is right. And I felt really slow. I was in the middle, so I was about average. But that was when I was in shape doing CrossFit. Now it'd probably take me 8 days to row 2,000. but he was like, "I'll just put the equipment in the driveway," and I'm like, "You do that?"
I've never used a rower. Do you use your legs too when you row?
Yeah, it's because you go back and then the one thing I will say that was good about CrossFit, it showed me how to use a rower the right way, because I could totally see how someone could pull something if they don't do it right.
Yeah.
Because you push off with your legs and then until you're back, you pull with your arm instead of trying to do the whole thing.
The only reason I know this is because Tim Ferriss advertised it on his podcast. Peloton has a rower now.
Yeah.
And it has cameras watching your
form.
The way your form, and it's giving you feedback on it. And he said, and this isn't a quote, but he said it was fairly accurate at providing good feedback. So
they don't have the rowing workouts on the app yet, because I know. So I follow a lot of the Peloton people, and there's a lot of customers that don't think it's fair that people who don't have the equipment still get access to the spin classes. And there's now a treadmill and now there's a rower, and these people are well, I spent all this money on this bike and all these but the app, I don't get all the same features because I don't have the bike. So I can't have my cadence or be on the leaderboard, or there's certain things I can't do, and I'm okay with that. I'm good. I'm willing to forego those to save, money.
It's interesting because I didn't do it because I saw there was a subscription component to it. So I was like, why am I going to pay somebody? But I understand there's terms, circumstances where it's good, right? It keeps you motivated. And then you're the opposite, where you're I'm not going to buy the equipment, but I'm going to pay the subscription.
Well, the subscription, when you don't have the bike, is cheaper. So if I owned the bike and had a subscription, it's I don't want to misquote it, but it was far more than me just having the subscription to the app. And so I'm if I can get what I need out of it without having to have the bike, then... So
maybe that's the complaint, is they have a higher subscription, but you're getting...
Well, they say that, but it's you're getting more things than I am with just my app. But, I like it because they have strength, they have stretching, they have yoga, Pilates bar, all of that. But they haven't put the rowing ones on there, so I'm interested if they will. But
Did they have one for when you're walking around outside?
They have a walking, a running. So if you want to just do like an outdoor walk or whatever. So my best friend in Oklahoma, she's so funny. She like you get badges and you get like certain day streaks and all this stuff. And like she will literally on vacation just do like a 10-minute something to not miss her streak. And while I love that, I mean, like, that's great. She loves her health and all of that. But I'm like, if I am on vacation, like, I'm not like, oh, I got to get on my Peloton. Sure.
I'm the opposite. Vacations when I get all my exercise done like 100%.
No.
Yeah.
I spend my vacations resting.
Yeah. I guess
I don't feel like I get to rest.
Yeah, and you've got little ones or little one and mommy stuff, and yeah. I understand. I was listening to Peter Attia is a doctor, and he's got a new book out. He was on the Star Talk podcast this past week, and he was saying that when you're doing those aerobic exercises, that to get the most benefit for your body, and see if you can follow this, is to do it hard enough that you can talk to somebody, but you don't want to talk to somebody. I was just like, that's a very specific. Yeah. It's like, is that because I don't want to talk to them because they're annoying, or is it because I don't want to talk to them because I'm exerting myself?
Yes.
I think that's what he meant, but like, yeah. you can, but you don't want to.
That's the thing. So, that makes sense, though. Our neighborhood's pretty hilly, so when I go on my walk, it'll be.
Oh, it's like intervals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get.
It's like where we're at, it's flat, and then if you have to go down into the next part, and because if I do the whole neighborhood, it takes me. I've only done it a handful of times because normally I just stay up top and walk the dog, but it probably would take me an hour to do our whole neighborhood. Are
people friendly? Like they wave and move over and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we live next door to the HOA Nazi. But everyone else.
Is she out there watching you?
No, but he literally. So we live in a cul-de-sac, and it's us. Like we're here, and then there's an empty lot, and then there's the HOA guy. We're in the very back of the cul-de-sac. Then we have a neighbor here and a neighbor here. So there's really only us and our one neighbor truly in the cul-de-sac. And he's like, you can't block the cul-de-sac because if people back up, they back into my yard or break my sprinklers. I don't know. It truly does not impact him. He called the cops one day on somebody. Like, called the police. Like, not non-emergency. Like, he called the actual police. And they were like, there's an island in the middle of the cul-de-sac, which is bad because if it wasn't there, a lot of this wouldn't matter. But they're like screaming. They're like standing on this island, like screaming at each other. And we're just like, we can't get out because the cops are blocking that side and the person who is blocking it. Like, because when we get home, if one side's blocked because someone's mowing, we just go the other way.
Right.
But it's like he needs to read that Don't Sweat the Small Stuff book. Because just.
He's probably got nothing else to do. That's his whole.
He's retired. He's ran for HOA president like every year that they've had an election and loses. And when I say he loses, like he loses.
Like he votes for himself and that's it?
Yeah. Like everybody in the neighborhood knows who he is.
Poor guy. I feel bad for him.
I do, but also self-awareness.
I knew you were going to say it. Yeah. Oh. Do you have sidewalks?
Yes.
Okay.
Well...
So it's not like my runs that you see where I'm on the road.
No, we don't have sidewalks, actually.
You don't? Okay.
I was like, wait, do we? No, we don't.
You should just walk on his grass. You should have Riley poop there. Yeah.
We are very diligent if she is with us to make sure we
same here.
Clean up.
When I can be.
Yeah.
I won't get the details, but... Well, I hope you have a wonderful workout. It was good to see you on this fine Monday. And we didn't have to reschedule this week.
I know.
So you may be a little nervous when you...
Well, I thought my other meeting was going to run like right up against the hour, and it didn't.
Well, you said you were gonna be late. I was just like, but my first thought was she's rescheduling. She's
No. Today was my mom's still using my office as a bedroom, and so it's a hot mess behind me. So I just needed to run out here to the cave.
And there's nothing wrong with rescheduling. Will likely need to reschedule at some point in the future. So I'm not judging. No judgments.
No.
Cool. Well, have a good workout. Sweat lots, and we will catch up on the next podcast.
All right.
All right. Have fun.
Bye.
Take care.